What's up, everybody? This is DJ Unprotected, and you are tuned into The Output. This is a podcast about fashion, pop culture, music, and whatever else I thought was worth talking about with you this week. Because the truth is, sometimes you just never know. Now, speaking about what you don't know, or what you do know, this is The Output episode 25. What a milestone. This is a milestone episode, and I'm pretty excited about it just because of where we've come as a show, the dedication that we've got, obviously the learning lessons, but just it's so exciting to know that, the amount of time you've put into something, and it's still happening. Didn't bail, didn't quit, you know what I'm saying? Kept moving, definitely going to continue to grow from this and to adapt and come up with new things for the show. But wow, considering all the madness that has occurred this year, it's still pretty cool to think about that here we are, 25 episodes into the show. I'm having a great time doing the show. The output's awesome. It's going well. And, I think doing the podcast has really kind of taught me a lot about focusing time and then just being more interested in things so that I can talk about it. And also that because of COVID completely ruining my social life, my dating life, my music life, and all that jazz, that this gives me another avenue to kind of say some shit without having to book a therapist 5 days a week. So, so this works out pretty well. But this is going to be a fun episode because we've definitely got some good stuff to talk about, like Cardi B's tweet that set off a lot of people, okay? It was probably a PR thing, and I think that's what they do, and I'm going to talk about that later on. But I'm sure you saw this tweet. We'll talk about it for sure. But come on, at a certain level of silliness, okay? We're also going to talk about how fantasy football has been an absolute emotional crapshoot roller coaster this year. I can't tell you how much. Okay, I will. Here's what's going on. Okay, I made it into the playoffs, and that's great. But it has been when I have lost, I have just got completely annihilated. And one of my best receivers, Will Fuller, you know what I'm saying, is totally out. He's suspended for the rest of the season. And the dude ended on a 39 point, you know what I mean? The last game he played got me 39 points on Thanksgiving, which was awesome. But dude got suspended. He was one of my most consistent wide receivers. I talked about this before, but I'm going to tell you, Saquon Barkley screwed me in the beginning of the season, and I had the number 2 pick this year. Watch, next year I'm going to end up with number 5. Hopefully not. I'm going to rewind that, reverse it, delete it, Control Z, whatever. I'm going to get either 1, 2, 9, or 10 next year. That's how it's going to roll. But seriously, man, this whole year has been nuts for fantasy football. And recently, because of all the COVID pushbacks of the players, especially as Baltimore being dirty as fuck, always some type of, I don't know, the whole team is just getting sick with COVID. So, man, I felt we were playing fantasy football almost every day. And it's tough to stay on top of the lineups. I loved it when you could just concentrate on trying to be strategic with your selections throughout the week. And then if you got some players playing on Thursday, they better be your best. If not, try to hold mine off until Sunday or Monday. But now you never know when somebody's going to play. Because if a few players, get positive for COVID, well, shoot, they're pushing the schedule. So it's just been wild, okay? But I'm going to push through. I made the playoffs. So positive there, super excited. And then we're going to talk about some new music coming out from Miley Cyrus, who's trying to bring back a little bit of rock and roll. She's an artist that's to me is, I like that, she's willing to do different things, change it up. She applies her personality to her music, and she's really not cookie cutter. Okay. Okay, maybe the Hannah Montana days, sure, cookie cutter, young girl pop star. But as an adult, she's kind of free-spirited, does what she wants. And I think that's kind of cool. So as an artist, I think she does great at expressing herself in that form. So it's pretty cool she's coming through to try to bring this rock and roll aspect of it. Now, this episode, we will definitely have an intriguing question as we're doing this. But, guys, I want to emphasize how cool this episode is. I know I told you it was the 25th episode, but here's the other thing, right? Milestones matter, okay? My mom and dad totally hooked me up with an early Christmas gift, and right here I've got the classic, the best, the thing that you see in a lot of YouTube videos. If you're on Twitch, you know that this is the microphone that people use on Twitch. This is the Shure SM7B. You've seen it on a bunch of podcasts, probably TV shows, interviews. Okay, this microphone is legit. Now, I've gotten my other microphone to sound pretty good, and I've learned that microphone very well because I've had it for 12 years. But this one sounds like awesome out the box. And so I really like that. So this is cool. Like, I'm breaking in this microphone with you. That's got to mean something. 25th episode, breaking in a new microphone. I mean, come on. Are we really we're building this momentum to go into 2021? And so super exciting things coming up that as we end this month, I'll tell you what we've got going on next year that I know that you guys, the listeners, the fans of the Output, are really going to enjoy. Okay, so this week's intriguing question, without holding back, without further ado, here's the question. And I guarantee if you ask this question to friends, family members, it's going to open up a conversation and you may get some crazy responses, all right? So here it is. What fact amazes you every time you think of it? Now, I've definitely got a pretty good one, and honestly, it's a fact that I've only found out. This is something that I've learned in maybe the last year, which was interesting. I thought it was honestly, I thought it was in a spam video, one of those spam ads, but I did more research on it, and it's actually credible. So, definitely interested in that. So it's not space related, okay? And I know me being I love space and I love reading things about the planets and the universe and why it all matters and the Milky Way galaxy, the astronomical size of it and how we probably really can't comprehend size and interesting questions when we see things and we're like, what is that? What is that in space? What was that glimmer we saw? What was that thing that definitely wasn't a plane, but probably wasn't a satellite either? What was that? So that stuff's always amazing too. But this isn't about space. So I'm super stoked to figure out that one. And I hope you guys can hit me up on Twitter and let me know what fact amazes you every time you think of it. I mean, seriously, tell me. Brighten my day. And if it's a really cool one, I will shout you out on my next podcast. Promise you that. The episode, I will shout you out. I will let all my listeners know who you are and what amazing fact that you wanted to share. Okay? How's that? Fair deal? I think so. All right, guys, but real quick, I've got a favor to ask you. If you've been enjoying this show, I need you to show me some love. So if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe because you don't want to miss the awesome stuff that's coming out in 2021. I'm telling you, it's going to be really cool. The company that presents this podcast, Aztec Nation, is doing amazing things. And next year, we've got quite the lineup. So hook me up. Hit that subscribe if you haven't. If you happen to stumble across this podcast, show me some love. And you're going to catch an episode every Friday. Okay? And another thing, if you have been enjoying the show, if you are a subscriber, I do want to say thank you. It seriously means a lot that you come back each week to push play on the episodes. And I love it. Okay? I appreciate all the love. So if you don't mind, too, if you just hit that like button, you know what I mean? That's like a digital hug. And right now it's the holiday season, all right? I'm hanging out in a Santa hat. Let's share some love, okay? I know it's not Valentine's Day, but we're sharing that holiday love, that good time spirit, all right? By hitting the heart, hitting the thumbs up, hitting the like, no matter where you listen. I actually just got finally confirmed for a partnership with Pandora. Took a couple months. Okay, I didn't know it was going to be that long of a process. Google took a few weeks. I mean, you can get on Apple Podcasts within, as long as you got a couple episodes, you can get verified pretty quickly. Credible website, all that jazz. And then YouTube, you just got to put video. But I was pretty excited that Pandora finally gave me the thumbs up because they are one of the new ones entering, I think, the podcast game. I know that most probably pull up Apple Podcasts or Spotify, depending on the type of device you use, okay? But I really appreciate any type of way you can show me support in that matter. And, obviously you can always blow me up on Twitter. I will retweet the shit out of anything positive that you got to say. whether you follow me or the episode or the show's Twitter, promise we'll hook you up. Okay. And next episode, since we're going to do some interesting stuff too, every time I drink, it's going to be different. Because jury's still out if I need to like play a sound. But you know what? I'm done asking the question. I've got the guidance. I've got the inner guidance. I know exactly what we're going to do. All right. So look, let's just jump into this first topic. Okay. This week, I'm sitting there cruising on Twitter in the morning before I headed out for work, just running through the feed. And I came across Cardi B's obnoxious tweet. All right. And she said something along the lines of, guys, I can't make up my mind. Like, should I buy this $88,000 purse or not? Like, yo, are you kidding me? Like, the first thing I thought is like, why would you put that? Like, I get like, okay, hey, you know what? You did the right things, marketing, you know what I mean? You put out like some dope music that turns up on the dance floor and gets people excited. We know you got money. We know you've been paid. So just buy the fucking purse. Like, you don't have to put those questions out there, because I guarantee a lot of her followers on Twitter, the majority, okay, I don't want to say everyone, but the majority probably don't spend $88,000 on purse. Like, they may not even have an $88,000 home. They're probably making car payments on a $20,000 car, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying, like, her fan base can't relate to what it's like to even think about maybe buying an $88,000 purse. Like, maybe some, like, hey, it's different than saying people walked by and were window shopping. Like, man, wouldn't that be cool to purchase that? But like, yo, you're kidding me? Now, look, I want to caveat this, and I'm pretty strong on this stance, and I've learned this. Like, I learned this about 7-8 years ago, okay? You can't hate the rich, all right? I don't hate the rich because, you know, people like may have worked their way up. Like, you don't know everyone's full story. And even if someone who came from they've just inherited a lot of money, you don't know what people went through earlier in their bloodline, like in their family, to get to where their later generations are at. And I'm a firm believer that, like, you know, if a certain generation is struggling and maybe they, you know, believe in like prayer, positive thoughts, hope, whatever it may be. But if they're like, please let my family don't endure what I had to go through. Please let my family, thrive instead of survive, and like, be blessed with tons of abundance. Like, you don't know if like down the line, like that had happened and now someone's like blessed because several generations ago, somebody put their heart and soul into those prayers. Like, you just never know. And so I don't hate the rich. I never would. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with people who have money. Like, there isn't. Like, I think it's great. You know what I mean? But because if you do hate people who have money, it feeds that feeling of lack. And then you go into like a depressive state, or you feel like you don't have enough, and that's not the right way to think, okay? So I'm bringing this up because it's just like, it's crazy, man, because it's such a dumbass thing to say, especially right now, right? There's a pandemic. There's people without jobs. There's hungry kids. There's homeless kids. There's families who are struggling, fighting, all because of what's been happening this year. You know what I mean? And then there's people who are hoping that some type of stimulus package gets passed so that they can get a $1,200 check to try to make something happen, to maybe just alleviate some stress for a few weeks. Like, that's crazy. And like, if some things don't change with the whole, like, there could be a lot of people evicted after January, all right? If things don't get changed about people not being able to pay their rent. So it's just wild. So it's like, for someone to post that, it's like, come on. Like, if you got the money, then just buy the purse and then post a picture of that shit on Instagram. Be like, hey, happy early Christmas to me. And then hashtag 88K. Like, that's cool. You bought it. But don't put the question out there like if you should or shouldn't. Man, rubbing that joint in people's face. Like, it's just wild. Like, and if it would be different, I mean, I don't know. Like, you don't know what people do with their money. I don't know what type of philanthropist Cardi B is. I don't know that much about her, other than like she was wild on Facebook and Instagram before she, started putting out rap music, when she was stripping, trying to give people advice. But it's whatever. But I'm just saying, like, that's just wild. Like, to post a tweet like that, and I know people were lit up about it, Like, there's not enough of her followers who can relate to something like that. And, there should be a change of perspective. Like, don't flaunt your money. Like, okay, I get it. Be proud of where you are. Like, be proud of what you got, whatever it may have been, the effort you put in, sacrifice, you know what I'm saying? Like, being an artist and touring, I'm sure, like, there were a lot of times, like, maybe she didn't see her kids as much as she wanted to. I'm not passing judgment on that, but I'm just saying, like, don't fucking do that, man. Like, I'd start to lose respect for people. And you may be sitting there like, okay, why would you follow her then? Well, I do it for the aspect of, you know what I'm saying, being a DJ, being involved in music. Here's what I think happens when you follow your artists on social media. And what I've noticed, especially on like Twitter and other things, when artists are going to release a project, like coming up, they get on this crazy PR campaign. Like, so their PR manager's probably like, we need to start doing something, creating buzz, getting people to wonder about you, so then they just start getting really, really active on social media, whether it's they post like, they start going live more on like IG and they do more stories, and all of a sudden you see them doing funny shit on like Triller and doing stuff on IG Reels when you never saw them doing it before. And what it is they're creating that buzz, getting you involved, and then boom, they drop a project. Like, it happens all the time. And so I follow artists like Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, other top artists like Bad Bunny, people who are top in the charts. I follow them because they're probably going to go through several cycles of releasing music over several years. Because I mean, the lifetime of like of an artist, okay, like their career isn't that long. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the grand scheme of things, like, it's just not. Like, it's rare for artists to have like a 20-year career, like the ages of like the Madonnas, of constantly being there without doing TV shows and stuff. I'm talking about like putting out music consistently for years. It just doesn't happen. Like, for a long period of time, like over 10 years, to maintain that relevancy, to keep that fan base growing from like age group to age group. It's really challenging for artists. That's why they go and do the stuff like the TV shows and whatever else they can help fuel that. You know what I'm saying? And I think the internet now, YouTube, totally helps them. But so back to what I was saying, I follow the artists because as they start to post a lot, and you can tell when they're probably pushing like it's a low-key PR campaign, I start to like look out for like some unreleased tracks in like my DJ network, or like you see what they're up to, like if they're in the studio, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get a glimpse of what's going to hit the tracks. So before stuff gets to the radio and whatnot through like my DJ sources and networks, I can kind of get into see what like type of music's going to happen. So whether I want to work a remix, a DJ edit, or start to put some new music in my sets, ahead of time, like that can happen. And so that's why I do it. I can't say that like she's pushing out great content. Like, I don't know, sometimes she's posted funny shit. I forgot a couple weeks ago she said something. I was like, what the fuck? Can't believe I read this at like 5 a.m. What a great way to start the day. But this $88,000 purse tweet about questioning if she should buy it or not, in my opinion, is so bullshit. Shouldn't be doing that. It'd be, like maybe hook some people up with some cash. But like I said, I don't know what she does in her philanthropy. That type of stuff's just annoying. Like why? There's no need for that, man. Like, like that doesn't add any value to anybody's day, because it's either going to piss them off, it's going to make people jealous, or I don't know, maybe someone will be like, yo, I can be the next Cardi B, so I can argue over maybe buying an $88,000 purse. If I had $88,000 to spare, you know what I'm saying, and my financial goals, like I definitely met them, exceeded them, I was balling out, okay, I wouldn't make a tweet about it, but I would definitely probably buy an awesome crossbody bag, like a Coach, something custom, but shit, I don't think Coach makes $88,000. Like, I don't even know the brand of the purse that she showed, just because I was so like appalled by that type of tweet. But if it was like custom and super dope, I'd probably just get it and then take a couple pictures of on IG. You know what I mean? That would be how I roll. Like, what the fuck? But it's just a game. Doing stuff like that might end up getting her muted, but I really feel like she's about to drop some music just because I feel like there's a PR push behind what she's doing. But, again, like, I don't hate the rich. Do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I just think in a time like right now, like, that's just messed up, man. There's kids who are hungry. I think that's like one of the worst things, like a hungry child, man. I loved food when I was a kid. I loved it. Every picture of me smiling, I probably had food in front of me. So, it's like it's sad to see like and hear about kids being hungry. But I mean, hey, if we're on a topic of people being rich, what they do with their money, what about that AOC shirt that says tax the rich? And if you guys got it, if you got it, take a picture, send it to me on Twitter. Would love to see it. My next question is that sweatshirt worth like, what is it, $58? Is it worth it? Is it like one of those ultra soft sweatshirts? Because I don't know. I don't think I would get that. I think what I would do is just go and custom make like a shirt. I would just online, like a custom t-shirt company or a custom sweatshirt. Like you can do that as long as you're not like, I mean, some companies are like, don't send us copyright logos or something. But as long as you're not selling the product, if you want to wear some like knockoff gear that you pay $10 for from a print shop, then why the fuck not? Like I would not pay $58 unless that's the softest motherfucking sweatshirt that I'm ever putting on. Like I can put that on without a t-shirt underneath and like my nipples and everything are just like, like it just feels like a cloud on you. Like then I'd spend $58 on that, but shoot, I'd rather make it for free. But I think it's just a funny shirt, like tax the rich. Like how much money she got? I bet you she would consider herself rich. She want to get taxed? I'm not mad at her. I'm just talking about like the price of the shirt. If you're trying to make a stance on something of it being like, hey, here's an idea. Here's what we're pushing for. Here's what I stand behind. Hey, I respect that, man. But $58, if you made that sweatshirt $18, I'd probably buy it. Like $30 for like, I don't know. But $20, I'd buy a $20 or $30 sweatshirt, not a $58 sweatshirt. Because I mean, I guess I like the idea of the shirt. Like it's pretty funny. Tax the rich, you know what I mean? Because of the whole like 1% or the high percentage of the richest people make more than the rest of the chart. And it's just crazy, but no hate here. I'm just saying, like, I'm not telling you guys how much this microphone is. Y'all can look it up. But that's what I spent my Christmas money on. Got a microphone. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But I'm not bragging about like the cost or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? It's just interesting. But hey, we've all got our own goals. We all got what we want to do. So if you want to, have that internal debate of like an $88,000 purse, well, that's on you. So, and it is all good. But speaking of super expensive things, I wonder if you guys like pick up, you probably heard like the drink and I can edit that out. It is Deep Eddy's vodka, grapefruit. And and I was like looking, I was like debating on if I was going to drink like gin or drink some beer for this show. But then I was like, oh, I forgot I bought this Deep Eddy's for my Halloween party that nobody drank because I bought way too much alcohol for that group. And I was like, this is awesome. I'm going to have some Deep Eddy's vodka with some club soda, and this is going to be great. So I'm telling you, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good drink. But, okay, speaking of money, let's talk about a very expensive thing that dropped on the market this week by a company that I love very much, and I'm absolutely involved in their ecosystem. If you're not, that's fine, but we are going to talk about this, is the new Apple AirPod Pros. I think it's whatever, like they're vibing with the name. Okay, so they choose the name, but here's the thing. So AirPod Pros, and I think there was another name potentially coming out for them. The studio, they were going to call them like maybe AirPod Studio. Glad they didn't because you had like the Beats Studio, you know what I'm saying? So I think Apple was smart with that decision. But so here you go. You got these headphones that are over the ear, noise canceling, wireless, probably like great functionality, all for the price of $550. Dude, that's crazy. Like, That's crazy expensive, but it's Apple, man. They make premium products. Like, that's how it goes down. So what's my take? Well, the name's kind of weird, AirPod Pros. And I think of like AirPods are the small things I'm going to stick in my ear. You know what I mean? Like, but AirPods Pros, right? AirPod Pros. Is that what it's called? Dude, because you have the AirPod Pros already. Oh, AirPods Max. Dude, I'm silly. Wait, is it Max? Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, my bad, guys. Not the AirPod Pros. Okay, it's AirPod Max. And I'm not even editing that shit out. We're keeping it raw on this show. You know what? The editor is getting fired because he can't even like make my notes right for this show because it says AirPod Pros. But I was like, yo, I have the AirPod 2s, the ones that were like the second generation that go in your ear, not the Pros that were $250. I bought the ones that were like $150. So these ones, the AirPods Max, okay? These look like the old David Clark, you know what I'm saying? Like 1950s airplane riding or airplane flying, you know what I mean? Operators, you see it in war movies, those big, I'm about to fly an airplane type of headphones. That's what these things look like. You know what I mean? So my take, all right, so here's a DJ's perspective and someone who's somewhat of an audiophile because I listen to a lot of music here in the studio. I have more headphones than I probably need, but I like good music and I like my music to sound good because to me, it's a judgment level of, how I'm going to relate to the tracks that I produce in the studio. Does it sound like radio quality and the stuff that I'm going to buy, play, things that are on the charts? Like, I consider myself a professional, so I want to output professional products. But, I haven't had my hands, obviously, on these, like very few people have so far, like your big review YouTube channels have like had a chance to check it out. So I was watching their videos just to kind of get a sense of like what it's about. So the quality's like the build quality is pretty good. There haven't been a lot of hefty reviews on the sound because I do think it takes time to like really understand the sound of a new speaker, new headphones as you're listening to your favorite tracks. But the whole the transparency I heard is really cool because you can kind of hear somebody talking while you're listening to the music and the sound comes through it. So maybe there's like a external microphone input that we don't know about. I don't know, but I think that is pretty cool. And then the noise canceling, some people said they can't even hear themselves talk when they have the volume really loud. But let's just think about this, like the Apple ecosystem. I just try to put it in perspective. Like if I have the Apple Watch and you have the iPhone and then you have an iPad and you have the headphones, like why do I need super amounts of functionality if I have those other devices that are also sitting there like, yo, what's up, man? Use me. Yo, use me next. You know what I'm saying? Like they do the handoff. Yo, use me next. So, I don't quite get how that would be like super cool, but I get, I understand Apple putting the crown, that digital crown there so you can like go change the volume. So it seems pretty cool. If you haven't seen the videos yet and you're into like being a techie and you like Apple products, obviously it's worth checking out. They are Bluetooth. They don't come with a cable. You have to buy that, okay, to charge them, which is USB-C to Lightning. Now, some people are like, why didn't they put USB-C on both ends? But I mean, if you think about it, all the iPhones are still Lightning cable, still have a Lightning port. And then, the AirPods, okay, also have your Lightning port. I'm showing that on the video. So it almost makes sense that they would keep, the AirPods Max as having the Lightning port. But it's a pretty interesting setup, man. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of intrigued about it. But here's the thing for me. I'm just having an issue justifying it because I travel and I will travel. Definitely got some things coming up in 2021, especially if a vaccine pops. But once I can travel again, that's when I would probably use them because if I'm here, I'm listening to like, I've got great studio headphones that I use, my DJ headphones. But if I was traveling, it would just be like, I would probably go with my DJ headphones because I know them so well and I would make music on them. And so I don't know what type of value I would have from these awesome Apple AirPod Max. You know, that because the headphones I got work for me, but you can't like work out with them because I don't think they're sweat and water resistant. So that's an issue that I wouldn't like because like how do you not sweat? Like if I'm getting lit listening to house music, I don't know. But it is pretty cool that the ear cups are magnetic and they can pop off easily. So that's pretty dope. But I don't think you can wash them. So you can only replace the ear cups. Now, Apple being Apple, I bet you guys would say that the extra ear cups that you wanted to buy that were different colors were probably cheap, right? And these things are $69, their ear cushions. But I get it. Apple creates premium products. So the long-term cost of these headphones, like, okay, how many ear cups are you going to go through? I'm not sure, in a year or two, like depending on the fabric. So if you didn't get this space gray and you went with something that had a white cup and you wear makeup or whatever, like if you start to get stuff on that and you can't clean it and they start looking grungy after like 6 months, then yeah, you're about to spend another $69. Also, the other fact is like, will they make a second version of this a little bit better? Like you just don't know. And I think that after getting an initial look on this, there may be some things changing. And I'll talk about another few of the features here, but I think the functionality will probably work really well. And I would definitely be interested in checking out the noise canceling because if you're working on like projects. But the thing with Bluetooth and you're working on projects, editing film and other stuff, you don't want any delay. And if you're working on podcasts, you need to connect right in. You don't want delay if you're with a guest trying to listen, make sure the audio sounds good. So you would have to probably plug in and then Apple sells their cable for like $30. Now you could probably use you could probably use the keyboard cable. Like if you have the Magic Keyboard, it comes with a Lightning to USB-C cable. You could probably use that to charge the headphones. Just a guess, port to port would probably fucking work out. I know, so techie. But here's the other thing, right? Like this comes with a small smart case that's not really like a case. It just kind of protects them, puts them to sleep. So the headphones don't have an on and off button, which I think is cool because here's why. I have the Urban Ears Hellas 2. Okay, great headphones for working out in. That's why I love them because they're light, quickly connects Bluetooth, and I can go work out in them and they actually sound pretty good. But you can wash like the ear cups and the top band that's obviously going to get sweaty. So I love that. The downside is half the times I put those things on my head, the battery's dead because I forget to turn it off. Or the other thing is like, if I come back home from like going on a run or something, I leave my headphones in the garage or whatnot, and I'm inside and then someone tries to call me and I'm like picking up my phone like, hello, and not realizing that my Bluetooth isn't connecting. Well, my Bluetooth is still connected to my headphones because I forgot to sit there and hold the side of the headphones so that they turned off. Here with these, if you put the headphones into its little case, which is just basically like a little sleeping bag for the headphones, just a little sleeping wrap, so you can tuck away your headphones, it turns them off, which is pretty cool too. They got a magnetic thing that shuts. So that's pretty dope how they figured that out. You know what I mean? Like the Apple's pretty smart about that, like ease of use, but man, it's weird. So I hope you guys check out the pictures because you're going to carry the headphones by the top part and then the other one's just hanging there. So it almost looks like you're walking around with a purse. It does look weird. I will say that. But you know what I mean? Like the key thing with the whole case is like if you lose the case, so if you're someone when you're traveling, you forget shit in a hotel room or in a rental car or Uber, whatever it is, if you're listening and then you forget the case, like, well, now your headphones are never going to turn off. Like they're just going to always be on. You're always going to have to charge them. So lesson about that is just don't lose the case. But I mean, the reality is like Apple products are on another level. Like I've never bought an Apple product and been like, man, I wasted money on this. Like the Apple Pencil I have for my iPad so I can take notes or dabble or whatever I want to do when I'm bored and I want to be creative. You know what I mean? Like for $120 something for the Apple Pencil 2, I don't regret it. The functionality works perfect. You know what I mean? And it feels like a premium product, which is what Apple does. Like, not a software company. They're a product company, like premium product, okay? That's just how it is. But I kind of want these to review them, to figure out what they are. Like, I'm already heavily invested into the Apple ecosystem. Like, could I probably shell out, $550 for some headphones here soon? Probably could, because I'm not spending my money on partying, dating, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. You know what I mean? So it's just me. So I could probably do it because it would be cool. It'd be worth probably the conversation and video. I'm not sure. We'll see. Because when I take a snapshot and I try to justify, am I getting it to get it, or am I getting it because it'll be functional and add some value and enjoyment to my life? So I've got the AirPod 2s, okay, posted on the video, the V-Moda Crossfade M100s that are out of my reach, but they're kind of like over there by my DJ setup. I got Sennheiser HD 280 Pros, which are great, affordable studio headphones. And I got the Urban Ears Hella, Urban Ears Hella Beats or whatever there are, the second version for working out, which are great because, like I said, you can wash the cups. So I am what some people would call headphone stacked. Some people have a lot of sneakers. Some people have a lot of hats. I have a lot of headphones. I have a lot of headphone options, which is great. So do I want to add another one to the equation? Maybe. I get a lot of functionality out of the AirPods now, you know what I mean? Because I can wear these like the phones, and it's just really cool how the handoff procedure works, which is dope. I'm not trying to explain that here, but I don't know. They're like my favorite Bluetooth, as well as obviously like my Urban Ear Hellas for when I go running. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know. The jury's still out on it. I would like to get some more further reviews of people who have been listening to music in the headphones for like several days or a week or so. There's a couple audio files that I follow that have gotten the headphones, and basically, so audio files are people who appreciate the quality of music that they're listening to. Now, music file is someone who's going to listen to a whole bunch of different types of music. They appreciate everything from classical to hard rock to maybe metal to techno to hip hop. Like, they like a whole bunch of genres of music, and not just your average, eclectic music collector. These are people who like some like out there, if someone told you what they liked, you'd be like, wait, what? Wait, what is that? You're into that? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, audiophile, like, just like to listen to good music, not static, not flat, whatever. You know what I mean? And anyway, so I don't know. We'll see. If you got them, you're going to get them. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know. Would love to know if you're into or not into the Apple AirPod Maxes, not the Pros. Apple AirPod Max, the big David Clark looking headphones. So, all right. So listen, we'll talk about the dating situation. Like, I don't have one. I can't even get like matches on like Tinder or Bumble. And it's kind of crazy. I think that just like the dating pool, because it's cuffing season. I think that the pool is just like so big right now that you're either just not getting the options to swipe because you're one in like a million. I don't know. But it's just crazy. Maybe it's just not meant to be. I'm out there and swiping and just nothing's matching at the time. And several months ago, it was matching like crazy. Now it's just not. So I don't know what's up. Maybe like low key, somebody reported my profile. Like, oh, this motherfucker. Because what happens is sometimes I'll match with somebody and then I just like unmatch and I'll be like, yeah, that was an accidental swipe. Or who knows? You send a message and they're like, dude, I hate this guy. Like, fuck him because he's handsome. And then boom, they report you. And now Tinder's like, not going to match with anybody. And Bumble's like, ooh, dude, we're trying to create a platform where kind of women initiate, have the upper hand, and then you want to be a dick? Not so much. I don't know what's going on. Yo, I totally wrote off Hinge, though. I will tell you guys that. I don't even remember my password. I keep getting emails like, hey, meet Gabby. Hey, meet Anna. Hey, all these people. And I don't even know how to get into the account, so I don't know. I'm not meeting any of them. We may be daily matches, and I'm not. But you know what? Like, everything going on with the pandemic and whatnot, like, I'm not really tripping about not landing a date. Like, I think a virtual date would be kind of fun. I'd probably risk doing an in-person date, like, low-key, but with everything that's kind of happening now. But hey, vaccine drops the next few weeks, I'm getting one without a doubt. Like, I'm ready to continue living my life. Now, I know if you get the vaccine, you still have to wear a mask because other people don't. So you may have gotten it and you might have to quarantine for a few days after to make sure that you don't give the COVID to anybody else. Like, you're not passing on the Rona because you got the vaccine. So we'll see. I know that it's coming out there, but I'm definitely going to get it. And then it'll be great to just be active and then plan to travel. Now, okay, so as we've gotten to the end of the show, I'm going to lay some secrets about what's going to happen with the Output come 2021, which is next month. But later, like, kind of, I don't know, the first quarter of like 2021, we've got some new stuff happening with the show. We're going to do some traveling. So I'm going to go to probably Austin or Dallas and film, like, checking out some historic sites, things that I haven't seen, going around giving you guys all the behind the scenes footage on the Aztec Nation YouTube page where I post all the episodes. So if you haven't checked them out, please give a moment, go find them. Just search in YouTube for the Output with DJ Unprotected and you'll see them. There's going to be 25 of them on there, but they're all going to be there. All right. But I'm going to do a behind the scenes of me traveling to a couple locations and then getting on the episodes and talking about the cool stuff about it. So it's just going to add some more flair to the season and then maybe pick up a few other places too, depending on, how the year turns out. But super excited, guys. I just want to say thank you again for tuning in. Wait, my bad. Almost cut this off too short, okay? The intriguing question, all right? And this week's intriguing question is the one that you're going to get a lot of crazy facts with, I promise you. So please ask people this question, all right? What fact amazes you every time you think of it? So for me, all right, what had happened was I think it was just cruising along Snapchat and it started telling a story about this woman and then something popped up and she was like a nature conservationist or whatever, and she was traveling through like African safaris, and she talked about the elephant. Now, the crazy thing for me is that elephants, right, look at humans in the same way that we look at puppies. Isn't that cool? Like the way we see puppies and we're like, oh, they're so cute. Oh my God, look at them. Like, and we want to like hold them and like, be gentle and think they're all awesome. Like the fact that elephants see that in us. So like, as long as we're not like messing with their babies or, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then pissing off the matriarch, but like, as long as we're cool hanging out, like that they look at us like, oh, they're so cute. Look at them. Like, they're not whipping us. They're not making us do dumb tricks. Like, we're just hanging out. Man, like, I just think that's such an awesome fact that, like, they look at us like that. So if you were, like, lost in the jungle, came across some elephants, they'd probably be like, yo, we're going to take care of you. Like, we're going to protect you because you're so cute. We want to protect you like a little puppy. So that's my interesting fact. And I did look it up, a couple different sources of, like, when they've studied elephants and they continue to study them, that their reactions to when they see humans is very much similar to how we react when we see puppies. So I thought that's awesome. So if you do see an elephant, just know they're looking at you like you're a cute little puppy. So even if you feel ugly, just go to the zoo and walk around the elephants and they're going to be like, oh, look how cute they are. Okay. So anything that's going to boost your confidence. All right. That's this week's intriguing question. What fact always amazes you? Ask your friends, ask your family. You'll get some good ones. And hit me up on Twitter. Tell me your favorite fact, okay, that amazes you. So hit me up at DJ Unprotected And if you send me some good ones, I will feature it on the show, all right? So listen, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Episode 25, super excited to be on this journey with you guys. It is amazing. 25 episodes. Wow, like halfway to 50. 50 is going to be dope. We're going to do a huge thing. So that'll be next year. But it's going to be awesome, man. 25. We're here, man. We did it. And I only missed like a few weeks when I was sick. And another time when like updating the studio. So this is awesome, man. Thank you for being a part of this with me. Thank you for tuning in to the Output with me, DJ Unprotected. This is a podcast presented by Aztec Nation. So I hope, as always, you are picking up what we're putting out. We've got a lot to say, and we're jolly about it because tis the season. So tune in on your favorite streaming platform. We are now on every single one. All right. So catch me next week for a brand new episode. I will see you on Friday, but I hope you all have a great weekend. We out.